In this video, traders, we're going to look at what it takes to be a great trader is changing. What does it mean now and where's it going? Stay tuned. Hey guys, warm welcome to you. Thank you for joining me. All right, so I thought I'd jump on the video and talk to you guys about my thoughts about what it takes to become a great trader, how it's changed, and possibly where it's going. And invite you, as always, the great community out there. Appreciate all your support, your subscriptions, your comments, your likes, your shares. You guys do a great job of helping me grow the channel, helping us grow the channel. There's a couple of us behind the scenes who kind of do all the bits and pieces here, so much appreciated. Anyway, I want to talk about what it takes to be a great trader, because I was reading a book all about the pit and stuff, and it was obvious to me that traders had a unique edge in the pit. Their edge was that they could see the order flow and they could react. They weren't actually making trading decisions like the traders do now, and they were kind of leaning on a lot of the order flow. So they would see there's a big order, an order would come in to buy, so they quite illegally could buy themselves, their own account, and then see if the market went up and then sell back to those. There's all sorts of games that went on. So they had a huge edge. And really the kind of way that you became a good trader when there was really to become the strongest and the loudest. Because if you were the most dominant man in the pit or woman in the pit, and mostly it was mostly men in the pit, just purely because of the physical attributes needed. There were a few women as well, and obviously Linda Rashke was in the options pit. But you talk about the S&P 500 pit or some of the other pits, you know, it really was a case of being able to be seen and be heard and not let someone push in front of you because you wanted to get the fill from that guy. So it was building relationships, it was looking after people, and it was making sure that you weren't going to be pushed around, that you could get your order done. It wasn't a case of, and we take it for granted, guys, you know, we just click a mouse, the order's done. And before, you'd have to jostle your way into the pit, you know, jostle a big guy in the elbow a big guy in the ribs, and then scream at the top of your lungs and try to get filled. You know, those were the attributes that made a great trader. Big guy, didn't take any messing around, stood in there, and he controlled the pit. And we talk about Louis Borsellino as well as one of those kind of big traders back in the day. In his book Pit to PC, talks a lot about that. So those are the attributes of a trader. Now we've transitioned to electronic, and I think the first transition to electronic was, you know, we didn't really have many algos going. You know, we had some that were very basic, and I've told stories before about when I started trading for 2001. Around that period, we had really basic algos, and they were quite easy, if you like, to spot and take advantage of. And that phase went through, and it wasn't that challenging really at that point. Well, obviously not everyone could do it, and you had to be watching the order book and know what you were looking for, similar to now. You know, you're seeing kind of order flow, but it was a lot easier then. And so I think that the kind of ways a lot of traders were making money, they were making money by having quicker data feeds. You had a lot of prop guys who were doing, you know, a lot of interest rate spreads that was spreading stuff around. But then we kind of improved with the technology, and of course algorithms killed off a lot of those people who were trading based on speed, who were trading based on, you know, very fundamental, following the basic algos, and that game changed. And then it became a game of kind of understanding market conditions, understanding and becoming more where we are now. And where we are now is, you know, to make trading decisions, people use all different things. They use fundamentals, they use technicals, etc. I don't think that defines a good trader, because I see good traders who purely trade from fundamentals, obviously from more of an investing perspective, guys who trade just from the order book, and guys who just trade from the chart, or combination too. I don't think that matters. But what I think is happening now is that trading is becoming more about EQ and emotional intelligence. And the IQ guys come in and they are there with the HFTs, they're there with stuff, etc. And there's always going to be that. But we've got this distinct difference now between EQ, traders like you and I, who are recognizing the emotion of the market, recognizing the emotion of ourselves, and recognizing it's a chess game, and thinking, well, where are the institutions going to trade next? Where are the bigger players going to come in? What are they going to do if this happens? So how do I position to take advantage of that if they do this because of this? And so you're thinking 3 or 4 steps ahead. So you're being very emotionally aware because you recognize what's driving the market. You understand that, you know, there's a requirement if there's money money flow coming in to put the capital to work. So where they're going to put their capital to work. You understand all the different nuances, and so it's being more aware from that perspective. But the key is to be, much more emotionally aware than the guys were in the pit. I'm not saying that they weren't at all, but the skill set was get your order filled, get out there, jostle everyone around, and get the job done. Whereas now it's a case of it doesn't matter. You can just click a mouse. There's no challenge for that. The challenge is to make a good decision. We don't have the edge that they would have had in the pit, and it's very much more a burden on us emotionally, which is why emotional intelligence is so significant. If we're getting angry, it probably worked in your favour in the pit. You're shouting, you're screaming, you're going red in the face, people are going to fill your order. They move out your way more. You start getting angry, some of the attributes that work there, you start getting angry in front of a machine now, it's going to work absolutely in your detriment, because you're going to trade from the wrong perspective, you're going to get frustrated, and you're just going to beat yourself up, and it's just going to be worse for your P&L. So emotion, we've got this definite split now. We've got the IQ, you've got the PhDs, all the quants working out all that stuff there and working their little game. And then you've got the kind of EQ of traders who are, still have a level of intelligence, obviously, to understand the market. We're not saying this is not an easy game, a simple game, but it's not that much barrier to entry. It's not like we're doing surgery here, guys. We can kind of work out pretty much what's going on in the markets very quickly and get up to speed with all the operational side of stuff. But to be successful, it's having that emotional awareness, and I think that's where it's going, guys. I think that the IQ guys and the quants will kind of eat themselves up, and it'll be a race to they'll dial out all those inefficiencies, and so the inefficiencies will come with the human decisions, and that's where we come in. And I'm not saying those will go away. I think that will still be there for a long, long time. And I think that will still grow. And I think the HFT side of it and algo side of it will still be there. But I think there'll be bigger players, be less fragmented. But from when we talk about the edges for us, it will be understanding where the human vulnerability is. So understanding, hey, that hedge fund manager still wants the bonus, still needs to keep things going. The mutual fund manager doesn't want to be fired. The guy stuck short doesn't want to have too much of a damage to his portfolio. Okay, so how will that affect me trading this stock? Well, I know that there's a lot of people stuck short on this stock. I know that the earnings come, etc. So you will be looking at how the other people and participants are feeling in the market, and that's what gives you the edge. So you'll be going, not just looking at the chart and going, well, normally if the market pulls back to there, what does it mean? Is it pulling back to there? Is it because people are waiting? Is it because this? Is it because that? And then when you go into that extra depth, I truly believe that that's where you kind of flick a switch and you start to move a lot more. We're looking at who's the other side of the market, what are the participants, what is their objective. And so I think moving on to the future, guys, it pays. Society in general is becoming far more mindful, far more aware, and I think that this is only going to help traders. There's so much more stuff out there for us to become more emotionally aware of ourselves, become more aware of how other people are thinking in the market, not look at things like a logical game, but look at things like a living, breathing market that's dynamic and changes with literally the feeling of the country and the feeling of stuff and the feeling. So improving on that is always going to be worthwhile. If you want to improve on something, improving on emotional intelligence, awareness, self-awareness, all this kind of stuff is definitely going to help. And I think that is the way it's going to go. I think that the very best traders, when we look in 10, 20 years time, are going to be the ones that are very aware of how other people are thinking and are perceiving things. That's always been the case to a certain degree, but I think that that's ultimately where our edge can be. If we can't compete in terms of finance and in terms of technology and stuff with the other guys, we can definitely compete on that. All right, guys, take care and see you next one. Bye-bye.